Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Emergency Management Associates. It's Friday night. It is now 18:54 p.m., 6:54 p.m. Eastern Time here on the East Coast of the United States. We're coming to you from the Area Command 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. As we've been doing for quite some time, we're going to start off this evening by joining us in the Pledge of Allegiance and the nation's national anthem. Would everyone please rise?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now would you make welcome straight from Washington, D.C., the United States Army Corps Quartet.
Yeah.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Oh yeah! Come on, folks, let them know it. America's finest right there.
America's finest, the United States Army Barbershop Quartet, giving us the Pledge of Allegiance, the host of the Barbershop Quartet Convention, giving us Pledge of Allegiance was given us by the host of the Barbershop Quartet Convention. The national anthem was given to us by the United States Army Barbershop Quartet, performing at the Barbershop Quartet Convention in 2015. We want to honor all of our men and women of the armed forces. We thank them for their service. We do thank them for their service, ladies and gentlemen. We love them. We thank them for their service, and we also want to thank our allied armed forces, men and women. Those countries who are allies of the United States that help us protect the world and serve alongside our men and women in the military. God bless you. May you all return home safely after your tours of duty end. We appreciate you and thank you so much for what you do. Folks, we got a lot to talk about tonight. One of the things I'm going to talk to you about tonight is this lady right here. This is Senator Dianne Feinstein from the great state of California. She passed away today at age 90. Now, I did not like her. But she is the longest serving senator in Congress today. Dianne Feinstein, the long-serving Democrat U.S. Senator from California and a strong gun control advocate who spearheaded the first federal assault weapons ban and documented the CIA's torture of foreign terrorism suspects, has died today at age 90. This is according to multiple media outlets, including the Senate, who released a message today. Feinstein's office did not immediately respond to a request for a comment. Feinstein was a Washington trailblazer who became the first woman to head the influential Senate Intelligence Committee. During almost 31 years in the Senate, she amassed a moderate to liberal record, meaning she went back and forth between a moderate thinking person to a left-wing radical. Feinstein joined the Senate in 1992 after winning a special election and was re-elected 5 times, including in 2018, along the way becoming the longest-serving woman senator ever. Health issues slowed Feinstein late in her career. When she was the oldest senator, she announced in February she would not seek re-election next year, and she was sidelined for Congress for 3 months, ending this past May, after serving from shingles and complications including encephalitis and Ramsay-Hunt syndrome. Born in June 22, 1933, Feinstein grew up in San Francisco and graduated from Stanford University. She was elected in 1969 to the San Francisco County Board of Supervisors and became its president in 1978, a position she held until Moscone's killing. She became San Francisco's first woman mayor and was elected to 2 full terms. She ran for governor in 1990, winning the Democratic Party but losing to Republican Pete Wilson in the general election. Feinstein then ran in 1992 for the Senate seat that Wilson had previously held, easily defeating the Republican appointed to the seat. She became California's longest-serving senator and its first woman elected to the chamber. Feinstein's first marriage ended in divorce. She then married Bertram Feinstein, a surgeon. After his death, she married Richard Bloom, an investment banker, in 1980. He died in 2022. Senator Dianne Feinstein, dead today at age 90. Why do I talk about that? Because she, number one, is the longest serving woman in the government history. Number two, she was a serving senator at the time of her death. We at least have to give her that. I did not like her. She attacked me on one occasion when I was a spokesman for a sitting congressman. And she didn't like what I said, and I attacked her back. Okay? Yes, I verbally attacked her back. Right or wrong or indifferent, doesn't matter at this point. I didn't like her. She did a lot of things that I think were illegal or downright in violation of people's rights. But I will give it to her now. She's passed away at age 90 in Washington, D.C. Joaquin Romer says Black Widow. Yeah. But I felt the need necessary to at least talk about her passing tonight. In some quarters, she was an amazing woman. But the last few months of her life in the Senate, she was not even cognizant of what she was doing. She had to have it explained to her multiple times by some of her closest advisors in her office. She's much like what has happened to Biden. Okay? Enough said. All right, let's keep on going. The second thing I have to talk to you tonight is about the looming government shutdown. Right now, it is 7:05 p.m. Eastern Time. In approximately 34 hours, the United States government is set to shut down unless something happens sometime tonight or sometime during the day tomorrow. The attempt by House Speaker Kevin McCarthy to prevent a federal government shutdown crumbled just hours ago. This happened as a group of conservative members turned down the proposal, making the government closure more probable. Though the legislation proposed by McCarthy included significant reductions in funding, slashing about 30% off several agencies' budgets, and implementing strict border control measures, some Republicans on the far right argued that it was not strong enough. Democrats in the White House have found the GOP's method excessively rigid because they don't want to give an inch. As of Saturday's deadline, tomorrow night at 11:59 p.m. As of Saturday's deadline, tomorrow night, 11:59 p.m., to ensure governmental funding approached, the failure of this bill today meant that the avenues to avert a government shutdown have been limited and are even further limited as of right now. Such a shutdown would have implications for federal staff. It would lead to the military working unpaid. The United States Senate is right now working on a bill that would at least pay the United States military. At least. But what is happening will potentially affect many services and programs depended upon by countless United States citizens. This situation also jeopardizes McCarthy's position as a House Speaker, particularly when his influence is vital during crucial times that seem to push the government to the brink. Before the vote today, McCarthy seemed to challenge those in his party reluctant to support the bill, hinting at the looming shutdown Saturday night. Had it been successful, this legislation would have ensured that government operations continue until the end of October. However, that is not necessarily the case. Even if it had passed the House of Representatives, the House would have had to send it over to the Senate, and the Senate would have to debate it. Whether or not the Senate would approve it or not, probably very unlikely. Every member will have to go on record where they stand, McCarthy said. When questioned about the likelihood of the bill getting approved, McCarthy humorously remarked, "We'll see." During this discussion on the House floor, Representative Matt Gaetz from Florida, one of the primary opponents within the Republican Party to McCarthy, proclaimed he would not support the bill. He labeled the border control measures inadequate and asked fellow members to not surrender. Remember those words, not surrender. With the deadlock and the federal government closure coming in very strongly in the next 34 hours to a shutdown post midnight Saturday night, Sunday morning. Such a move would result in the military's 2 million personnel going unpaid, furloughing federal employees, disrupting government services and initiatives essential to people nationwide. Thus far, Congress has not succeeded in financing the agencies or approving an interim bill to keep them functional. Okay? So right now we're headed to a government shutdown. Now, remember those words, never surrender. We cannot surrender. We cannot surrender, especially with the border. I spent a good deal of time last night because I couldn't sleep. I spent a good deal of time listening to an NBC National Broadcasting Services reporter interviewing President Trump. 3 hours I listened to this woman interviewing President Trump. This woman was obviously a left-wing plant. She was trying her darndest to screw Trump up. She was asking questions and purposely interrupting President Trump to forward her left-wing radical statements. But President Trump stuck to his guns. He did not surrender. This woman lost the debate. This woman reporter lost the debate. President Trump, numerous times during the 3-hour interview that I was listening to, barked her right down into her own rabbit hole. He chased her to the rabbit hole and down into it because she did not have a leg to stand on. These left-wing radicals want to ruin our government. They want to take down our country. Never surrender. Never surrender. As I've spoken about the border issue, Governor Abbott and President Trump have put up a fence on the southern border. Governor Abbott is trying to continue putting that fence up on the southern border. At one point, just about a month ago, good old Biden went over and had steel workers cut open a piece of fence and open the piece of fence as a doorway to allow unlawful, undocumented migrants to cross into our country. Governor Abbott in the past month or so has also put out National Guard on the border. They put up razor wire up and down the border to keep these illegal migrants out. Biden apparently ordered 2 Border Patrol or Customs Border Protection agents to cut the razor wire. Now, I have not heard what Governor Abbott has done about that. But it is sad when our own government is defying what is going on. Customs Border Protection is supposed to protect the country, and yet 2 agents from CBP went and cut the razor wire. Several henchmen from Biden's organization went and cut the steel fence line and welding it open. Welding it open in direct violation of the policies of this government. Regardless of what Biden says, it's in direct violation of the Constitution of the United States. Okay? And yes, I'm a bit peeved about that. No, I'm angry about that. When I was a federal police officer in San Diego, I was called down to assist CBP and Border Patrol agents in arresting suspects that had crossed the border illegally and making sure that they returned to the Mexican side of the border. I unfortunately was tasked with escorting an ambulance on several occasions. I was sent down to the border to escort an ambulance from the border to the hospital because a pregnant woman from Mexico showed up at the border and was having a baby literally on the U.S. side of the border. And unfortunately, we had to escort the ambulance to the hospital, so her baby was born a United States citizen, thus allowing the baby's parents and subsequently the rest of his family into the United States. That happened. But I staunchly support closing the border down, shutting the border down. And I don't quite care what the liberals of our government say. We need to protect our country. Over 11,000 undocumented migrants are entering this country on a daily basis. Over 30,000 people from Colombia, Nicaragua, Venezuela, Russia, China, and other countries including Iraq and Iran have entered through the southern border. Yes, over 30,000 within the last 72 hours. You tell me what is right and what is wrong. Most of these people, as I have stated before, are military-aged men. Very few of these are female or children. Yes, there's some females and some children mixed in there, but the majority of those undocumented people are of military age, meaning 18 to 40 years old. Okay? And like I said, where are they from? Our enemies' countries. Iran, Iraq, China, Russia, Venezuela, and other countries. This has got to be stopped. Maybe this shutdown will be good if we can force these liberals to get their heads out of their butts and do what is right. I believe this is an emergency. That's why we're talking about it. I would not bring this up if I didn't think it was an emergency. This is an emergency management channel. I'm trying to give you information as a public to bring to your attention what is going on. Some of you may have already known some of this information. Others of you may not. That's why we're talking about it. I feel it to be of an emergency situation. It's got to stop. All of us have to stand together, side to side, shoulder to shoulder, standing together for what is right, what is good, regardless of what these politicians think or say. It's got to stop. If they can't do what is right, they need to be voted out and held accountable for their wrongdoing. They need to have their feet held to the fire and held accountable for their law breaking and their wrongdoing and hurting people. Yes, hurting people. And I could go on and on and on about that subject. But suffices to say, we have now less than 34 hours before a government shutdown happens. And if it happens, a lot of other nasty things could happen. Shutting down the military pay. The only people that are going to get paid are who? Guess what? The senators and congressmen in Washington, D.C. Those are the only people that are allowed to be paid for not doing their job. federal law enforcement, federal fire personnel, yes, federal fire. There are fire departments on federal property. You might not even realize that. There are fire departments on federal property and military bases. Law enforcement, literally all over. Most people don't even realize how many federal law enforcement agents are around. I didn't until I became one of them. And I had to work under the Clinton administration in 1995 for quite a while without a paycheck. I know what's going on. And now I'm on Social Security, as many of the rest of you are. Social Security. People are on disability. Others are on WIC. Mothers with infant children on WIC will not get paid. How are people going to pay the rent? How are they going to buy groceries to be able to eat? That's where this becomes a very tragic emergency situation. I'm asking all of you, if you have any money left among you, make sure you go to the stores, and I'm saying seriously, go to the stores and buy food tonight and tomorrow. Buy some food tonight and tomorrow. Because, folks, if you don't, you may not have food to buy by Sunday or Monday or Tuesday. I don't shop on Sundays. Okay? I consider Sunday my Sabbath day. I don't shop on Sundays. I observe strict religious doings on Sunday. I just don't. But folks, if you don't have food tomorrow, come the rest of this week or the rest of this month, you may not have it. You may not have it. And your bills probably will go unpaid. Just so you know. I'm asking all of you to protect yourselves. To absolutely protect yourselves. I can't say that strongly enough. Protect yourselves. Now, Michael McKinney says, I keep thinking this is just a bad dream. But it's real. It's getting very real. It's getting personal. It's getting very personal. Kimberly Hopkins says, I'm glad I've been stocking up. That's why we've been telling everybody to write an emergency preparedness plan. What happens when this happens, or this happens, or that happens? How are you going to handle it? We've asked people to get survival food. We've asked people to make sure you stock up on food and water for your home. Have a food storage plan. We've been talking about this for a very long time. This is Emergency Preparedness Month. We've been talking about it for a while now. All month long. I'm asking everybody, make sure you take care of business for yourselves, because starting Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or however long it takes, you may not have the ability to get the things you need because the government is not going to allow you to do it. This whole thing is falling into the elite's hands. It really is. It really is. G. Meisner is asking, Ron, do you have any info on October 4th? I'm turning off all my devices. Yes, I do have information on October 4th. Again, okay? I'm going to say it until after the FEMA and the FCC test on either October 4th or October 11th. If for some reason that the FCC and FEMA cannot do that test because of weather or some other outstanding federal emergency or United States emergency, they're going to do it on October 11th at the same time. Right now, the FCC and FEMA are planning on having an EAS test, Emergency Advice System, an Emergency Advisory System, Emergency Alert System, the Emergency Alert System. And not just that, because there are so many cell phones and other devices out there, they're also going to use the WEA, the Wireless Alert System. The Wireless Alert System. I've spoken about this in past days. I've talked about it. I've given you my advice. I've given you my counsel on what is going to happen. Maybe I need to restate it. But folks, this is serious. This is so very serious, you don't even realize it. I'm telling you. You may not even realize how bad things are. I know I've been talking a lot about this, and some of you are tired of me talking about it. But folks, I cannot just sit idly by and let something happen to you all. I can't do it. I just can't do it. My commitment to all of you is such that I cannot just sit back and let someone get hurt. I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. Let me give you the information on October 4th. Pat Jenkins says October 4th is your birthday. Well, Pat, ahead of time, I'm wishing you a happy birthday. I hope you're here on October 4th, and I wish you it on your birthday. But folks, this is serious. FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, and the FCC are planning a nationwide emergency alert test, an EAT, for October 4th at 2:20 p.m. 2:20 p.m. lasting to 2:50 p.m. 30 minutes. And this test could last as long as 2 hours. They've taken that part down. Originally, it said 2 hours. This came out as August 3rd. This alert from the FEMA came out on August 3rd. FEMA, in coordination with the Federal Communications Commission, the FCC, will conduct a nationwide test of the Emergency Alert System, the EAS, and the Wireless Emergency Alert, WEA. The national test will consist of 2 platforms, 2 different portions, testing the WEA, the Wireless Emergency Alert System, and the EAS, the Emergency Alert System capabilities. Both tests are scheduled to begin at 2:20 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday, October 4th. not 2:20 p.m. Mountain Time or Pacific Time. This is 2:20 p.m. Eastern Time. You all need to figure out where you're going to be at 2:20 p.m. Eastern Time. And make sure your telephones, I shouldn't say your cell phones, not telephones, your cell phones, your tablets, your televisions, and your radios are turned off. This is me talking. The government wants you to listen to it. I'm asking all of you to turn your devices off. My computers, all of my electronics in this household, my router, my Wi-Fi systems will be turned off at noon on Thursday, the 4th. The WEA, the Wireless Emergency Alert System, that portion of the test will be directed to all consumer cell phones. This will be the third nationwide test, but the second test to all cellular devices. The test message will display in either English or in Spanish, depending on the language settings of the wireless handset. The EAS portion of this test will be sent to radios and televisions. This will be the 7th nationwide EAS test. FEMA and the FCC are coordinating with the EAS participants. The wireless providers, the emergency managers, and other stakeholders in preparation for this national test to minimize confusion and to maximize public safety value of the test. Now, yes, I'm going to talk about the pandemic in just a minute. So stay tuned. Don't leave. Okay? They do not like what I'm advising you to do in turning off your devices and sheltering your devices so the signal will not get to your phones. Okay? We'll talk to you about that in a minute. They would rather have me cooperate with what they're doing. I don't cooperate very well, do I? Like I said, the EAS portion of the test will be sent to radios and televisions, and this will be the 7th nationwide EAS test. FEMA and the Federal Communications Commission, the FCC, are coordinating with EAS participants, the wireless providers, the emergency managers, and other stakeholders in preparation for this national test to minimize confusion and maximize public safety value of the test. The purpose of the October 4th test, this is their reasoning, not mine. The purpose of the October 4th test is to ensure that the systems continue to be effective means of warning the public about emergencies, particularly those on the national level. On the national level. On the national level. I said it 3 times. I hope that means something to you. In the case of the October 4th test, if it is postponed due to widespread severe weather or other significant events, the backup testing date is October 11th. The backup test date is October 11th. I don't believe it's much of a testing. A test is when you sit down and write answers. They are calling this a test to see if it works on their level. See if they can communicate with the population. Now, the WEA portion. The WEA portion. The wireless emergency alert portion of the test will be initiating using FEMA's Integrated Public Alert Warning System. IPAWS. IPAWS. FEMA has this acronym, Integrated Public Alert Warning System. IPAWS. IPAWS. A centralized internet-based system administered by FEMA that allows authorities to send out authenticated emergency messages to the public through multiple communications networks. The WEA test will be administered via a code sent to cell phones. The wireless emergency alert system test will be administered via a code sent to cell phones. Hurricane Heather is in the chat. I'm going to try to answer your questions here. What about the folks that don't know to turn their phones off? I'm sorry if they don't turn their phones off. I will tell you what's going to happen if they don't turn their phones off. This year, the EAS message, the Emergency Alert System message, will be disseminated as a Common Alerting Protocol, a CAP. Common Alerting Protocol. A message via the Integrated Public Alert and Warning System, Open Platform. IPAWS Open for emergency networks. All wireless phones will receive the message only once. The following can be expected from the nationwide WEA test, the Wireless Emergency System Test. Beginning at approximately 2:20 p.m. Eastern Time, cell towers will broadcast the test for approximately 30 minutes. Why 30 minutes? Because, folks, they are going to put out a high frequency tone. A high frequency tone. During this time, the wireless emergency alert compatible wireless phones that are switched on within range of an active cell tower and whose wireless provider participates in the wireless emergency alert system. These phones should be capable of receiving the test message. It's not just going to be a text message, a text message. It's not going to be just a text message. There will be a high frequency tone emanated during their test. For consumers, the message that appears on your phones will read, quote, "This is a test of the National Wireless Emergency Alert System. No action is needed." Phones with the main menu set to Spanish will display "Esta es una prueba, P-R-U-E-B-A. Let me repeat that again. Esta es una prueba del Sistema Nacional de Alerta de Emergencia. No se necesita acción. In English and Spanish. The wireless emergency alert systems are created and sent by authorized federal, state, local, tribal, and territorial government agencies through the Integrated Public Alert Wireless System, the IPAWS system. 2. Participating wireless providers which deliver the alerts to compatible handsets in geo-targeted areas. Geographically targeted areas. This is to help ensure that these alerts are accessible to the entire public, including people with disabilities. The alerts are accompanied by a unique tone and vibration. A unique tone, a high frequency tone and vibration. I will explain what that tone is going to be. No, I don't know exactly what frequency tone it's going to be. It's going to be a high frequency tone and a vibration. Important information about the EAS text. The EAS portion of the test is scheduled to last approximately 1 minute, and it will be conducted with the participation of radio and television broadcasters, cable systems, satellite radio and television providers, and wireline video providers. Can you say YouTube? The test message will be similar to the regular monthly EAS test messages, which the public is already familiar. It will state, "This is a nationwide test of the emergency alert system, issued by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, covering the United States from 1420 hours to 1450 hours Eastern Time, 1420 to 20 p.m., 1450 hours, 2:50 p.m., 30 minutes. This is only a test. No action is required by the public." Then they're going to emanate that high-pitched frequency tone. Then they're going to start that high-frequency pitched tone. Now, from everything that I have gathered, from all kinds of sources, literally, yes, folks, I have been delving deep into source material. Everything that I can find out about this test, it's not good. Those of you that have gotten the Jimmy Jab, if you haven't gotten it, maybe your family or your friends have gotten it. You may have gotten boosters. Yes, they're still pushing boosters as well. Some of those Jimmy Jabs, people gotten sick, or they've died. Some people gotten sick and nothing else has happened. Those people are lucky. What they're going to do with this test, putting out a high frequency tone, it's going to activate some of that material that was in the Jimmy Jab. It could harm a great deal of people. It can possibly harm a great deal of people. And yes, take them off of this earth. Okay? Tank says, I operate on my own frequency. Yes, you probably do. Each one of us does. But folks, I would urge you not to listen to that test and not take part in that test. Hurricane Heather's in the chat. I'm going dark on the 4th. I'm very sensitive to EMF, electromagnetic frequency radiation. EMF, electromagnetic frequency radiation. And that's basically what this test is. What should I do, or we do, if I'm not the only one who is EMF sensitive? I've talked to you about this in previous days. I've explained it and re-explained it. You can go back over the last week. I think I've talked about it at least 3 times on these programs. At least 3 times on these programs, and I'm very serious about it. What do? Folks, if you're serious about this, and you're still listening and watching this program, I'm also going to tell you this, and you can take it for what it's worth. You don't have to do a darn thing I say. You don't have to do anything that I've said, ever. You can do whatever you want to do. But I'm telling you what I think you should do. I've talked about this. Hart says if we unplug our router, will that shut all the internet down? No. No, it will not. Shut your computers down. Shut off your phones. Unplug all of your phones. Unplug all of your devices, your television, your computers, your radios. Don't allow those to operate, because those radios, those televisions can be programmed to be turned on. They're smart devices, aren't they? They're very smart. They've been programmed to turn themselves on. Unplug them so they do not have electrical function. Unplug your routers, your Wi-Fi systems. Do it. Unplug everything. If you have a desktop, turn it off and unplug it. If you have any, and I'm saying any, laptops, tablets, turn them off. Tablets and cell phones. Tablets and cell phones. What do I have here? What have I been showing you here during the last week or so? This is aluminum foil. This is aluminum foil. At about 12 noon on October 4th, maybe earlier, sooner than that, I'm going to wrap my phone up. I'm going to wrap my phone up. Just like that. Okay? And the end of it as well. I'm going to make sure that this phone and my tablet are turned off and are not susceptible to any cell tower activation. What I'm doing here effectively is making what? A Faraday cage. I'm building a simple Faraday cage for your phone or your tablet. I've got 2 tablets here. Okay? That's one wrap. I take another set of aluminum foil. I'm going to do the same thing with this. This time, starting on the side of the aluminum foil that the other side was opened on or closed on. This time, I'm going to wrap the second level of this foil up as well, all around my device, thus not allowing any kind of wireless signal, any kind of electronic signal to this phone. Now, my sister asked, My own sister asked me this past weekend. Yeah, up until now, my own family, was not even watching my programs. All of a sudden, somebody started talking to them about something that I have said and things that are happening. Word has gotten to my family. So now my own family is asking me what they should do. I've been telling them all along. My own family has not even paid attention until now. Some of you have not paid attention to me until now. Unfortunately. DD 2003 is asking, will it turn your phone on automatically? No. Turn your phone off prior to wrapping it up. Turn it off. Then wrap it up in at least 2 wrappings, making sure that there is no possibility of an electrical signal getting into this Faraday cage that you just built. My own sister said, how about 3 or 4 wrappings? Go for it. Make your day. Okay? So now, what am I doing here? This is the 3rd wrap. This is the 3rd wrap. Again, I'm securely wrapping this phone up so that there is no possibility of a radio signal getting in here. An electrical wireless signal getting into this phone. There are wireless signals all around us, emanating from satellites, emanating from space, emanating from radios and television signals all around us. Wireless signals happening all the time. How do you think your televisions and radios operate? I'm trying to protect you here. Turn off your radios, turn off your televisions, and unplug them. Your cellular devices, your tablets, and your phones should be turned off and then wrapped up securely so that there is no chance of a wireless signal getting to your phone. Doing this will keep your phone from being turned back on and being damaged, possibly damaged. We're having their tone, their 30-minute tone, their wireless high-frequency tone being recorded on your phone so that if you go back and turn your phone on, it's going to be there. If you do this correctly, it will not happen. Now, I have been asked many times, what do I need to do? I just told you what to do. Do you want to unwrap it right at 3 p.m.? No. I'm advising you all, once you wrap your phones and your tablets up, keep them off and keep them wrapped until at least 4 p.m. 1600 hours EST. 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Pacific Time, what is that? 1 p.m. Pacific Time. 2 p.m. Mountain Time. 3 p.m. Central Time. 4 p.m. Eastern. Okay? Dee Dee's saying, I'm pretty sensitive to all sound. It's annoying. I agree. It can be. Hurricane Heather says, what do we do about the people around us that won't listen? Stay away from them. Don't get near them. Don't get anywhere near them. Go outside, go anywhere away from where they are. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Linda Covington says you can lead a horse to water, but it's their decision to drink. True. But stay away from them. Stay away from them. G. Miser says, I warned them. That's a good thing. Someone warned my sister. And then my sister started listening to my programs. Woohoo! Finally, a member of my family taking it seriously. How seriously, that remains to be seen. I've been talking about emergency preparedness for a very, very, very long time. But my family has not listened. Joaquin is asking, should we make a tinfoil hat? No. No. I don't think that is as serious as some people think. You don't need to make a tinfoil hat. I just don't think so. I don't think it's going to affect us that way. If you are already out here walking around in your home or outside on the earth, if you're a farmer plowing your field, or if you're out mowing your lawn or whatever, you're already exposed to wireless signals from space, from the satellites above us and around us, from wireless devices, from the FAA, talking to airliners and aircraft in the air around us, NASA and Roscosmos, talking to the space station, the Chinese talking to their astronauts on board Tiangong, their space station. Yes, I already know all about Tiangong. Yes, I've been monitoring what they're doing as well. I think in order to do what I'm doing, you have to know what the other people are doing around you. So yes, that's exactly what I do. Joaquin Romer says, I just don't want to get zombified. Don't buy into the zombie apocalypse. Don't buy into the zombie apocalypse. 3.5 years ago, FEMA, in their infinite wisdom, were putting together disaster drills, and they were using the idea of zombified people, zombies attacking humanity. Don't become a zombie yourself. Don't get all hyper and worried. It's not there yet. It's not there yet. If it was there, I would tell you. I'm telling you now. If there are people around you that are not bought into anything and they're just minding their own business, doing what they have to do, you don't have to. Protect yourself. I've given you the ideas and the wherewithal now to protect yourselves. Now it's up to you. Charlie Alpha Tango says, walk down downtown streets in large cities. You'll see them. Oh yeah, you're going to see weird people all over the place. You're going to see homeless people. Many of them have been strung out on drugs and alcohol for so long, they don't know their names. They're those people. But you need to do something for yourselves. Okay? You just cannot let other people dictate what you're going to do. If you do, you're going to lose yourself. Don't let that happen. Don't let it happen. Catherine Sigerson says she's back. I suggest food, water, and shelter. I agree. Food, water, and shelter. How many times have we talked about this? How many times have we talked about being prepared? It's not just a Boy Scout slogan. It's a way of life. It's a way of life. This is not the first, nor will it be the last time that we talk about this, because I'm going to talk about this until after it's over. Up until before it happens and until after it's over. I'm trying to help protect you. I'm an emergency manager. I do not buy in to everything the government says. Yes, I'm a highly qualified emergency manager. I'm certified in about 30 different topics that FEMA's put out. I'm certified. I'm a certified emergency manager. I've been around the block a few times. I've done disaster drills literally all around the United States. I've traveled the United States doing emergency preparedness talks. I've traveled around the United States talking to people. I've done emergency preparedness fairs. I've done preparedness talks everywhere. I don't like talking about doom and gloom. I'm mostly a very positive man, a very positive person. I'm not talking about doom and gloom right now. But we know darn well what these people have done to our society worldwide. What these people have done to our society worldwide during the past 3 to 4 years, since 2019. We know what they've done. I'm talking about these people here. Okay? I'm talking about this organization right here. I'm also talking about this organization right here. Okay? I'm also talking about this organization right here. Do not put these in the chat. Do not put them in the chat. I'm not saying the words because I don't want to be taken down. I'm trying to get as much information out to all of you, your families, your friends, your neighbors, the people you work with, your social media contacts, everybody. This organization right here. The man Fauci belonged to this organization right here. He belonged to this organization right here that I already showed you. He also belonged to this organization right here. Okay? If you don't already have a plan, you need to get a plan. How many times have I got to say that? If you don't already have a plan, you need to put together a plan. I've had a plan. That's why I'm talking to all of you about it right now. You guys asked me, I'm telling you. I haven't let you down yet. I've had a plan. If I didn't have a plan, I wouldn't be talking to you about any of this. You also need to have a plan. DD 2003. is talking about wrapping your phone up here. Okay? Remember, people, to wad up the aluminum foil first to make the crinkles. Why? Folks, you know about stealth planes. We even have stealth ships. The different angles of the metal will reflect radio signals and radar signals, right? That's exactly what you're doing here. Crinkling up the aluminum foil. Not tight, because if you do it too tight, when you go to unwrap that aluminum foil again, you're going to tear it. You don't want to tear it. But you want the wrinkled aluminum, the metal, to be able to reflect those electrical signals away from your device, your phone and your tablets. That's why you're doing this. To reflect the waves away from your device. Okay? That's why. My friend Laura Marie over in Oregon, bless her heart. She says hello from Oregon. EMA friends, mods, and Ron, hello. Been shopping, so came in late. I bought small hand cream for my 72-hour packs. Thanks to Ron's suggestion. Those 72-hour hand creams are going to be essential to make sure your skin is taken care of. Okay? But all of this, everything that I've told you over the years, is absolutely essential for you to know. A lot of people, all of you included, sometimes you don't even listen. You're too busy chatting on the chat, too busy talking to other people. You're not paying attention. How do I know that? Because you keep asking me questions that I've already spoken about. I've asked you to take notes for your own safety, for your own good. Below this video today, we have our website down in the top portion of this program description. There's a reason. There's a reason. There's a lot of information over on our website. If you go to our website and go to the files sharing area, you're going to find out all kinds of emergency preparedness information. If you go through our programs, I probably got about 60 different programs since April this year. Go back through our programs, and anywhere where we have emergency preparedness mentioned, you better go back through that program and listen to it. Because we have told you things that can help you and given you ideas. We talked specifically about emergency preparedness kits. We talked about emergency preparedness plans, different kinds of kits as well. We talked about maps. We talked about why you need a map. And exploring ways, different routes you're going to get to your bug out locations if that's what you decide to do. And different bug out locations. Don't just have one, have several. Because if you have one, if there's an emergency, that bug out location might become full up. Have at least 3 different places or more that you could go to during an emergency. And don't drive on the highways unless it's absolutely necessary. Why? If you drive on the main arteries, even the streets, the main streets, and the highways, what if they've got the National Guard out there with the police department running a blockade? And you're tied up in traffic, aren't you? You're trying to get to a destination before it fills up. You're trying to help you and your family. You run into a roadblock, and they see that you have a bunch of preparedness things in your car. You have plastic cases, storage bins with food and other things in them. You may have some backpacks. Notice I do not have any camouflage gear. I do not wear camouflage gear unless I'm out in the boondocks itself. You will never see me traveling in camouflage gear. If you're out there traveling to a bug out location and you've got camouflage gear, guess what? If there's a roadblock with military and or police, they're going to ask you why you're wearing camouflage gear. Are you military? No. Where are you going? I'm just traveling to a cousin's house. You don't have to be honest with them. You don't have to tell them everything. But you're getting to where you need to go. But avoiding the main streets, avoiding the highways will avoid roadblocks. Travel surface streets, if at all possible. Travel service streets, if at all possible. Before anything happens, make sure you always have a full tank of gas. Before any kind of emergency ever happens, make sure you have a full tank of gas. That way you'll be able to get to the destination you're going to safely, and you're not going to break down on the highway. You're not going to be able, or you're not going to create another situation by being on the highway with your car running out of gas, where other people have been blocked up behind you because you're not going anywhere. People might not like you for doing that. Don't do it. Make sure you get your plans and work your plans. Okay? Deborah G says you stick out too much. You don't want to stick out like a sore thumb. Okay? Plain clothes. Shirts and t-shirts. Yes, I have an Ahmed the Dead Terrorist shirt on. Okay? It's a fun shirt. But you're not going to see me wearing camouflage gear except if I'm already out in the boondocks. Because if I'm out in the boondocks, I don't want them seeing me via satellite or any other devices, aircraft or whatever. I'm going to remain incognito as much as possible. Okay? Even to the extent, if I've got different color tents, I may put camouflage tarps over my tents to make sure they're not visible from the air. Fact. Vicky K says people wear camel gear here all the time. Okay? What have I said about it? Don't be like everybody else. Don't be like everybody else. Catherine Sigerson says, exercising for an emergency. I've already planned this out. I have an extensive emergency preparedness plan for any kind of emergency. And I've explained this to you before. Each of you need to have your own plan. And then work your plan. Exercise your plan. Make it a drill for you and your family. Yeah, make it a drill. Use your maps that you prepared to exercise away different routes to get to where you want to go. And in doing that, you're visiting the places that you want to go. You're going to a park or a campground or whatever it is, and you're going to need permission to be there. Guess what? When you go there, On your drill, you visit those people there and tell them, I'm preparing for the worst case scenario. If an emergency happens, can I camp here with you? Campground hosts at parks are there for a reason. Inquire of them if you can stay there during an emergency. And what are they going to say? If we're not full up. That's why it's important to make sure you get there before everybody else. Don't just take off and run when everybody else is doing the same thing. Get a head start. What have I told you? When I'm planning to pack my car and go, or my SUV, or my truck, or whatever I've got, I'm going to do it under the cover of darkness, so other people don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to be very quiet about it. I'm not going to be slamming doors, opening doors, or anything else. I'm not going to be talking loudly. I don't want to attract attention. I'm going to pack my vehicle full very carefully and very quietly and pull out of Dodge before anybody else knows what's going on. Okay? That's what I've taught you to do. I've been talking about this for years now. It's too bad that over the years they shut down my first channel. I had hundreds of videos over the years. Hundreds of videos over 4 years that I put here on YouTube for all of you to see. Unfortunately, they've been taken down. Sad. Yes, they have been taken down. But I have this channel now, and I'm telling you what you need to do. Okay? WG says I'm completely mobile and digital. I sold my house 3 years ago, and that might be good for you. Might not be good for everybody, but that might be good for you. G. Meisner says my car is packed already, but my feet are ready as well. You need to do that. Yes, my car is packed with a go bag. My 72-hour kit is down by my front door. My totes, I have my totes in storage rooms in my home here. So I have them ready to get out of Dodge with. All I have to do is run them out to the car under the cover of darkness. Okay? I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. I'm trying to help you. Some people might think I'm crazy. I'm as crazy as a fox. I am as crazy as a fox. Okay? I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you and your family. That's why we're here. 99 people have given us a thumbs up. 124 people watching now. I'm hoping that it'll be a lot more than 124 people. Okay? Notice I just unwrapped my phone. I have a tiny pinhole right here. 2, 3 of them, 4 of them. That's one reason why I'm carefully wrapping my phones 2 or 3, not just my phone but my tablet too, at least 2 or 3 times. I may, in fact, I'm going to do that. I'm going to throw out this tin foil. It's got some tiny holes in it. I don't want to even think about tiny holes. Okay? Make sure that your emergency preparedness kits also have clothes. Make sure you're thinking about clothes. Right now we're in this season of fall, where temperatures are starting to drop. Make sure you have seasonal clothes packed or ready to go if you have to leave during the fall or the winter. Change out your clothes for each season. That way you're going to be ready. I've talked about preparedness kits for your car. I've talked about a battery jump. What are you going to do if your battery goes dead? You're going to have a way to jump it, huh? Or if your battery is old and decrepit, you might want to get a new battery. Okay? But always have jumper cables. Have tools, simple tools that you might be able to make repairs that are easy to do to keep your car on the road. Make sure you have water in your car. During warm seasons, do not leave your water in your car. If you're going to travel, whatever distance you're going to have, make sure you have water with you, sufficient to get you home. Don't leave your water in your car. If it gets hot, you're not going to want to drink hot water that's been in your car. Make sure you have adequate water supplies for every season. If it's cold outside, don't leave your water in your car. Take it inside with you to your job, to your home, whatever you're doing. Don't leave your water there to freeze and cause a mess by blowing up, because water expands, doesn't it? Water expands when it freezes. It'll blow out the containers that your water is in. Don't do that. If you're going into a building or something, take your water with you. That way you don't have a mess in your car. Okay? I'm trying to give you good information here. Elizabeth Pantsleff just gave us a $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Ultimate preparedness. Jesus is the Messiah. Believe in your heart. He is risen from the grave. Confess him as Lord. Do it now. Thank you, Elizabeth. We appreciate that. God bless you for that. And I mean, I appreciate it. I really do. It makes a difference. All of your support here makes a difference. It keeps us on the air. Throughout the past year, you've also helped me pay my medical, I haven't paid all of my medical bills by any stretch of the imagination. But you're at least helping me keep the doctors and the collection agents at bay. It's expensive to get cancer and treat it. Carl Smith says, I'm ill with a condition known as microwave radiation sickness, modern term EHS. I've heard of that. Years ago, a lady that I had met way back in Denver, her husband died from standing in front of microwaves. He got cancer of the middle part of his body, and he died. One time I was just walking past a microwave, and she grabbed me in tears and asked me not to ever do that again. Then she and a friend of hers told me the story. Okay? TVs and microwaves put out too high of an EMF frequency, an electromagnetic radiation frequency. Okay? When your microwaves are on, stand back. Don't get near them until the microwave turns itself off. Deborah G says, Ron, please call your hospital and ask them about a hardship. They can reduce your bills. I already have. I had thousands upon thousands of dollars in bills. I still have probably $3,000 in bills that I'm trying to pay. A little bit here and a little bit there. And I appreciate all of you helping me with that. Okay? That means the world to me. Okay? It really does. Richard Smith says the internet will let me see USGS but not the European site. Dang internet. Richard, Google or search engine EMSC. EMSC is a European seismic agency. Okay? Put that in your search engine and it will come up with all kinds of good information on earthquakes and seismic events. Okay? Also, Volcano Discovery puts out a lot of good information. However, be careful with Volcano Discovery. They sometimes get overly excited when something happens. And they may tell you that a earthquake has happened, but they say it's unconfirmed. If you cannot confirm an earthquake, it didn't happen. Okay? I've been watching that very carefully over the years. Okay? I'm just telling you. Now, I appreciate everything you guys do. Do you have any questions for me? There's only another subject or two that I want to discuss with you tonight before we leave you here. Hurricane Heather says microwaves are dangerous, refuses to own one. TVs, nope, that either. Yes, I have a TV, a widescreen TV downstairs. I've got a 3-foot screen here. I stay quite a distance away from all my TVs. I don't stand in front of the TVs. I don't stand in front of microwaves. I don't even stand in front of my radios. Okay? They have EMF generated in their inside. It's not as bad as when they had tube radios. Tube radios were even more dangerous. Nobody even realized that. Okay? Elizabeth is also saying, please don't forget to put iodized salt in your go bag, in your emergency preparedness kit. Iodized salt. It's a good thing to have. It's a very good thing to have. Okay? Do you have any other questions? I know for a fact that we've discussed a lot of things here tonight. I know for a fact we've discussed a ton of things here. I'm only trying to help you. That's all I'm trying to do. You guys wanted me to talk about the test on October 4th or the 11th. If it doesn't go off on the 4th, I will keep you advised of what's going on. Okay? Hurricane Heather says she uses Himalayan salt, so do I. Deborah G just gave us another $10 super chat. Thank you, Deborah G. We appreciate it. God bless you for that. I'm serious, guys. I appreciate all that you do to help to support this program. Okay? Richard Smith says fresh water from salt water would be useful. I agree. I couldn't agree more. Susie Fujinaga says, I'm 73, not old, but vintage from now on. I agree. I'm not old, I'm vintage. And I'm not near 73. Okay? Happy birthday, Miss Susie. Yes. She's a good lady. Carl Smith says, should we worry about cell phones we don't use anymore? Yes. Wrap them all up. Wrap them all up. Most of my old cell phones I'm going to get rid of soon anyway. But wrap them up. Most of my other cell phones here are old and they don't even keep a charge here. Okay? Linda Covington says, doesn't your body require ionized salt? Yes, it does. Okay? Catherine Sigurdsson said, in 2023 I found 7% vinegar and feel very lucky. By the way, guys, vinegar helps your cancer go away. And it helps your body fight the cancer. Vinegar. My buddy Rick Silva's here. Rick, have a wonderful night. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you being here. Susie Fujinaga says, thanks for the info on an old cell phone. I got two right next to my bed. Don't keep your cell phones next to your bed. Okay? Yes, I have them on a nightstand, but not right next to the bed. Okay? Richard Smith says, I need a Baofeng ham radio very soon. You can get them. Amazon, Wish, and several other agencies or companies are selling them all over the place. Okay? Baking soda helps with the body's pH levels, I agree. Make sure you have plenty of baking soda. At one point in time, I had like 6 or 7 boxes of baking soda. I wish I had that many now. Baking soda is very much an essential thing to have. You need it. You need it. Any other questions? Linda Covington says, apples, mother's vinegar. Oh yeah. I love apple cider vinegar. You can use it for so much stuff. It's incredible. Nathan Hester's here in the chat. A friend of our programs. He just said, I just bought a Baofeng UV21 Pro V2. Yes, it's a great ham radio. It's a great handheld ham radio. It does the job. Kanita Warrior says, yeah, the vinegar's tough to drink. It is. But you can do amazing things with vinegar. Rick Silva just gave us another $20 super chat. Thanks, Rick. We appreciate that. God bless you for that. He says, thanks for all your hard work, Ron. Thank you, Rick. God bless you. And I mean that. I mean that very sincerely. God bless you for that. You guys help keep this program on the air. You really do. My buddy Demon Cat Man is still here from England, from the east of England. Jolly old England. I love Demon Cat. He's a good man. He's a good man. Linda Covington says Lowe's and Home Depot have higher concentration of vinegar for cleaning. Very high concentrations of vinegar. Yes, you can get that. You might need that for cleaning. You use the other for cooking and whatever else. My mother used to keep a lot of vinegar in our house, bottles and bottles of vinegar. When we were sick and not feeling good, sore throats and such, our parents heated up water to as hot as we could stand to drink it. Put a couple tablespoons of vinegar and a little bit of honey and mixed it together and made us drink it. Guess what? Within a day or so, the sore throat was gone. We got healed. Vinegar and hot water and honey do a great thing. Okay? Yeah, some people can't stand it, but guess what? It works. It works. Grandma Deb says, I can't buy anything. Grandma Deb, a lot of us are there. We don't have money to buy anything. You're right. Some of us can't. I'm just giving you ideas when you have the money you have to stock up on certain items that you need or that you want or that you usually use. Stock up when you can. Sleeping Volcano is back. Sleeping Volcano, thanks for being here. Greetings to my EMA family out of the hospital back home today from Salt Lake City to Colorado. Not feeling too good, So I'm only listening. Love you. Sleeping Volcano, thank you so much. And God bless you. To give you guys all an update, Mary Lou is now out of the hospital. She will be convalescing for a while, I guess, somewhere around Boise. Then she'll be eventually going back to her home over in southeastern Idaho. So we're very thankful about that. She broke a leg, she broke her hips, and broke her collarbone. I want to also put out the idea that Don and his wife, Don Patoka and his wife, need blessings. Don's wife is still in the hospital. Don, you don't see on here tonight. Last week he was here. Bless his heart. We need to pray for them. We need to pray for all of our EMA family and others that are sick and afflicted and need God's help. We definitely need to do that. Kanita Warrior says times have definitely changed for me financially too, and they're draining us dry. You're right. They're draining us dry. Gas prices here are going upwards of $4 a gallon now. $4 a gallon. Earlier this year it got down to $2.99. Now it's going skyrocketing again towards $4 a gallon. Los Angeles and California in some areas are over $7. Utah, $4 to $5 a gallon. All over the place. Do what you have to do. Keep your tanks full whenever the gas prices go down. Fill up your tanks because the gas prices will go back up. Okay? Keep your gas tanks full. Hurricane Heather says she in California, she's paying $6.10 a gallon. Unreal. Sleeping Volcano says, thank you, Ron. Love you, buddy. I love you and your hubby, too. Her hubby's had health issues as well, and we've been praying for him as well. It's unreal. Any other questions here? Linda Covington says California time for a new governor. Yes, absolutely. Speaking of which, Governor Newsom. No, I don't pronounce his name that way for any other reason, but because he is who he is. Governor Newsom is going to hurry up and appoint someone to take Senator Feinstein's place. He's going to hurry up and appoint another Democrat to fill her spot very quickly. And then that person has to run for him or herself very soon, as early as next year, to secure the spot for themselves. Okay? Just so you know. That seat is going to be up for grabs this next year. But in the meantime, Newsom is going to appoint somebody to fill it. Okay? Hurricane Heather says, please be a Republican. I agree. Please be a conservative, period. Okay. Elizabeth's saying Feinstein was strange. Oh yeah, I can tell you stories. Heather says we hate Newsom here. Yeah, we do. Can't stand the man. You guys in California, I understand that completely. Okay. If you guys don't have anything else, I have one other thing to talk about tonight. That is some electric buses. Okay? This is in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. And it's other places as well. Jackson Hole, Teton area of Wyoming. Their electric buses have died. Their complete electric buses have died. They're going away. All electric buses in the town of Jackson, Wyoming are currently out of commission, and they're not expected to return to service anytime soon. forcing commuters to rely on the transit system's more reliable diesel-powered fleet. Jackson Hole News and Guide reported this past week that the Southern Teton Area Rapid Transit System, a public transportation system provided by Jackson and Teton County, Wyoming, purchased 8 electrical buses from EV manufacturer Proterra, P-R-O-T-E-R-R-A, which filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy last month. These people that are manufacturing electric vehicles are not going to be in business very long. The only person manufacturing electric vehicles of any kind that are of any good at all is Elon Musk. Okay? All the company's buses from Proterra up there in Jackson and Teton counties, Wyoming, are now out of commission and need of a lot of repairs. According to the START director Bruce Abel, only 5 of the 8 vehicles were operational at any given time. Last month, Abel said that the Jackson Hole Teton bus system was being challenged by the electrical buses. It was a very challenging year. Our reliability was below our desires last year. Many missed trips and poor on-time performance. The town invested in 11 new buses in 2023 to upgrade its public transit system. START aimed to convert 40% of its fleet to electrical power. However, the unreliable electrical vehicle transportation forced the transit system to abandon its plans for electric vehicles and expand its service to Star Valley and Teton Valley, Idaho. Instead, the town will receive 6 new diesel-powered buses next month to alleviate public transportation issues. Abel explained that even before Proterra filed for bankruptcy, it was difficult to order parts needed to repair the buses that they had bought, noting that the town had been waiting on some parts for months. He stated it took 7 months to receive a door that was ordered for one of the buses. They've always been very challenging parts to supply. Now with them in bankruptcy, we don't expect their suppliers to supply them to supply us. We're going to find a way to get them back on the road. Earlier this month, the Philadelphia Inquirer reported that the Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority had purchased 25 electrical buses from Proterra, which have not been in service for over 3 years. They purchased 25 buses that have not been in service for over 3 years. The SPTA noted that with the company filing for bankruptcy, Sept, or in Philadelphia, could lose $24 million after finding some of its buses had cracked frames and battery issues. Cracked frames from heavy batteries. One of the EV batteries reportedly burst into flames last year. The Philadelphia bus system spokesman Andrew Bush said, "At this point in time, we don't know what path forward would be and what legal remedies are, and we can't say when the buses would be coming back into service. They relied on them, and the company and the buses failed." Proterra was touted by Biden several times, and the company received a $10 million COVID relief loan. A $10 million COVID relief loan from the Paycheck Protection Program in 2020. The loan was forgiven in 2022. Isn't that interesting? The loan was forgiven, meaning the loan didn't have to be paid back. That's according to Bloomberg. The company also received other federal government incentives and support for its EV manufacturing. EV is not the wave of the future. A Proterra spokesman told Bloomberg last month that the relief funds supported their ability to maintain a full workforce as they navigated the uncertainty caused by COVID. When filing for protection under Chapter 11, the company's CEO Gareth Joyce stated, quote, Proterra is at the forefront of the innovations that are driving commercial vehicle electrification. Really? We know we're building industry-leading products that our customers want and need. Yeah, expensive products that nobody can afford. The foundation that we have built has set the stage for decarbonization across the commercial vehicle industry as a whole, and we recognize the great potential in all of our product offering to be able to make this and enable the important transformation to EV. This is why we're taking action to separate each product line through the Chapter 11 organization process to maximize their independent potential. The CEO also noted that the company had faced various market and macroeconomic headwinds that have impacted their ability to efficiently scale all of their opportunities simultaneously. In other words, they have failed. They have failed because electrical vehicles are no good. They have not come of age. They have not come of age. It's not just electrical vehicles, cars, but now buses and even semi-trucks. Yes, Mr. Newscomb wanted to have no electric vehicles that were new on California freeways except for electrical. No new vehicles at all except for electrical by 2035. And with all these electrical fires with vehicles, and the vehicles not performing per standard, and having to be charged every 300 miles for a complete overnight charge that will only get them so far, electrical vehicles are not the way to go. Period. Period. And Elizabeth's saying electrical vehicle fires are almost impossible to put out as well. I agree. Firefighters have been telling me that for over 6 months now. Just not good. It's just not good. It's garbage. It's trash. It's trash. Now, I don't want to forget about this, so I'm going to talk about it now. There's a couple over in California. Phil and Jan, the Aguilera family over in Cedar Glen, California. They sent us a check in the mail. I appreciate it. I just got it today. So if you guys are listening to the program, I received your letter today. I deposited the check, and I appreciate your support of our program. All of you guys are making sure we can keep this program on the road. We've done a lot of stuff over the years. We're going to continue to do this. We're not going to stop. Linda Covington says these 25-minute cities can't go anywhere. Speaking of which, I want to show you something else. Okay? Let's take a minute and talk about Maui. Okay? Look at this. One of our sources and I have been exploring what we could find out from satellite imagery as of August 8th when the fire started on Maui. As you can see, this is a satellite photo of Hurricane Dora that passed to the south and east of Hawaii. It was further east, it passed to the south of Hawaii. Notice on this photo, you do not see Hawaii outlined on this photo. You don't see it. The photo has been altered. The photo has been altered. Okay? Let me look at it. Have you look at this. This was a photo taken on September 29th. Today. This clearly shows the islands over there in Hawaii, doesn't it? Okay? Why are they not allowing anything to be shown on August 8th through the 12th, the 15th? Why are they not allowing that to be shown? Look at this. Why are they not allowing that to be shown? This is Hurricane Dora. Okay? Where is the island on the picture? It's been taken down, hasn't it? The map has been altered so it's not able to be shown what's going on. It's not showing any smoke or anything. Okay? What is going on here? They have literally obliterated any evidence to show the fires and what happened. They don't want anybody to know anything. Now, I went back through the National Weather Service. I went back through NOAA. I went back through the College of Dupage. I went back through the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration in Boulder, Colorado. I pulled all kinds of information to try to find out what happened on August 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th, and 12th. Guess what? They have doctored the images. They have doctored the satellite photography, taken it down. Okay? Can you say cover up? Deborah G says cover up, yes? Oh yeah. They are making sure that nobody knows anything. They're trying to make sure that nobody knows anything so they will not have any responsibility for anything. Nothing. Nothing. Now, I also got a package in the mail, and I forgot to bring it up here. It's downstairs on my dining room table. I got a package today that had a plastic bottle similar to this. Okay? It was a large plastic bottle that I could put water in. And guess what? It had two separate openings, and on each end of the top of the bottle. Those openings allowed something else to happen. On either side of that bottle, guess what? I have the ability to have two collapsible bowls that I can put water in for my dogs. I can take them down to the dog park and allow them to run around, and I can put water in their dog bowls for them. Isn't that cool? Somebody was thoughtful enough to help me with my puppy dogs, to help me with my kids. I really appreciate that. That means the world to me. It means the world to me. Space Force House is something suspect was going on the East Coast, the F-35 incident. I agree. How does a pilot bail out of a fighter jet and it flies around for another 32 hours till it crashes by itself in South Carolina? How does that happen? Hurricane Heather says, I have 8 of those bowls. They're amazing. Yes, they are. I didn't even know they existed until now. Now I own them. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it. Also Laura Marie. And I forgot to bring that up too. It's down on my table. Laura Marie took a picture of another volcano over there in Oregon. And it shows, not in Oregon, but over at Shasta volcano. It shows the crap in the skies, not necessarily steam, but it shows the dirt, the images of the smog behind the volcano. It's a cool picture. I'll show you that the next time we come on the air. It's cool. Thank you, Laura Marie. I appreciate you so much. She's been a very, very dear friend over the years. I love her and her husband and family very much. Anyway, guys, I'm going to let you go. Before I do that, I want to share a scripture with you that's been one of my favorite scriptures. It also pertains to what we're talking about tonight. This is over in 2 Corinthians chapter 7, verses 8, 9, and 10. For though I made you sorry with a letter, I do not repent. Though I did repent, for I perceive that the same epistle hath made you sorry, though it were but for a season. Now I rejoice not that ye were made sorry, but that ye sorrowed to repentance. For ye were made sorry after a godly manner, that ye might receive damage by us in nothing. For godly sorrow worketh repentance to salvation, not to be repented of, but the sorrow of the world worketh death. The sorrow of the world worketh death. That's what we're seeing. That's what we're seeing in our society today. The sorrow of our society is working death. That's what they're doing. Folks, please share this program far and wide. Far and wide. There isn't anybody that doesn't need to hear this program immediately, if not sooner. Share this program far and wide. Your family, your extended family, all of your loved ones, your neighbors, your friends, your social media contacts, and even the people you work with. Share it far and wide. Also, please check and make sure you're still subscribed. YouTube continues to unsubscribe people. Make sure you're subscribed, and when you subscribe, go back and click on that little bell icon. There's a little tiny circle there with a bell in the middle of it. Click on it. When you do that, there'll be a drop-down menu of 3 items come up. Click on the word ALL, all. That should get you notified when we come on the air. Okay? Just giving you some hints. Watch and make sure you're subscribed. 25% of the people that watch or listen to this program are not subscribed. Imagine if all of these people subscribed to our program and all of them were happy and they were telling their friends and relatives and everybody else about this. Our channel would grow like wildfire, and I think it should. We've been on the air 4 years. Yes, I had to start a new channel because of what YouTube and hackers have done. But we're back, and we're going like gangbusters. Yes, the number of subscribers is not anywhere near what it was 4 years ago. Okay? Within a month, we were at 2,000 subscribers. Now we don't even have that right now. We're still working on that. Make sure everyone hears the message we gave you today. This is very, very important. Not just about the October 4th event, but also about the government shutdown. Because it's not just going to affect the military. It's not just going to affect the normal people. It's going to affect everybody, high and low. The only people it's not going to affect are the senators and congressmen that will get paid whether or not the government is operational or not. Go figure. Not even our military are going to get paid. Linda Covington says, what's happening in Italy? They have storms, and they have two volcanoes, Mount Etna and Stromboli, that are going. Stromboli is going right now. Okay? Susie Fujinaga says, volcano getting ready to erupt in Italy. Yeah. Stromboli and Etna. Okay? Folks, get ready. Things are happening all over. There's earthquakes everywhere. We had some more earthquakes down in the South Pacific today. Yeah. The South Pacific. A 6.0. A 6.0. And we've had some 5s that hit as well. I was going to show you that today, but we've run out of time. Okay? But they've happened. It's not been a major deal yet. It's not been a major deal. If it was a major deal, we would have talked about it. Or we would come back on the air to talk about it. Okay? But what you need to know is if anything else happens tonight, we'll be back on the air to tell you about it as soon as the information becomes available. Okay? We always have and we always will. Tomorrow we're going to take the day off unless something happens. Sunday at 12 noon, we'll be back here on the air with our Sunday school class called Come Follow Me, the Savior Said. We're going to go into Galatians. We spent time in 1st and 2nd Corinthians. We're going into Galatians and Thessalonians. So read up on it. Read up on it. Anyway, guys, it's been a pleasure to be here with you. Thank you all for your support. Thank you for your Super Chat support. Thank you for helping us in the chat as well. It's been fun talking with you and responding to your questions and giving you answers to help you. That's what this whole program is about. Our friend Times and Signs is here. She says love. Times and Signs is a wonderful lady. Okay? She really is. We appreciate her so much. She says she's listening. I salute her as well. Guys, I thank you very much for all you do. God bless you. May God be with you until we meet again. May God be with you until we meet again. I love you guys ever so much. Thank you for being part of our program and being part of our family. Have a good night, and we will see you Sunday, if not sooner. Take care, everybody. See you around the corner.